Good morning and welcome to the market forecast, friends, fellow futures traders, family, and fellow Forex traders. Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. Got the day right this morning, Wednesday, June the 2nd. I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. As always, we're going to look for accurate context, good risk management, and patience in our trading today. If you're in the markets already, hopefully you've got things going on. A little bit of a slow start this morning. I think we've got some markets really looking for some information that's due out later on this week. As far as economic numbers this morning, normally at 7:15 this morning, we would have had the ADP employment. Apparently that's going to be coming out tomorrow, a half an hour before jobless claims or 45 minutes before jobless claims. And then, of course, we have unemployment on Friday. At 1 o'clock today, Central Time, the Beige Book is due out. That's always our warning that we're 2 weeks from the FOMC meeting, and there's a few talking Feds coming out today. I'm excited today. It's Wednesday. We're going to have group coaching. We missed it last week, and my apologies for that. So I'm going to put the link in so you can join up, and that's at 1 o'clock Central today. And at 2:30 to 3:30 today, we've got a special webinar. Dan and I and some of our affiliates are going to be kind of having a round table, something new we're trying. We're looking forward to seeing you there. You should have gotten an email about that to get signed up for it. Really looking forward to that. It's always something I'm interested in, is talking traders with traders. As far as the news is concerned, U.S. stocks looking to open. Well, this morning when I sat down, they were pretty sharply steady. In other words, trading very close to settlement price. They've come up. They've moved a little higher this morning as we await our first of three looks into the employment numbers later this week, tomorrow and Friday. Investors seem a little bit reluctant to take their foot off of first base. It seems a little bit this week. Again, awaiting that information. Crude prices have held a critical support level yesterday after OPEC states that they're expecting strong recoveries in demand in the U.S. and in China. We have the API later today. EIA is going to be tomorrow. The forecast by the EIA for the release tomorrow is a small draw of 2.1 million barrels. I was looking at the Wall Street Journal this morning, and there was an article in there that was stating that consumer prices rose at the fastest pace in more than 12 years in April. If there's any question that inflation may start to become a problem, it's out there all over the place. Lumber, food, energy, everything is more expensive right now. If they tell you there's no unenjoyment, or no inflation, don't listen. It's out there. As always, we've got the VIX down a little bit this morning at 1786. The dollar up slightly, back above that 90 level at 90.06 last time I checked, and the 10-year yield slipping a little bit lower, still just around that 1.6%. Make sure that you smash that like button. Make sure you share, comment, question. Feedback and heckling are always welcome. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notifications when we do go live. It's Wednesday. We got a short week. It's Synthetic Tuesday, I guess. Synthetic Monday yesterday was Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. We are going to be looking at these markets. As always, I got to say good morning to everybody. Theo, good morning this morning. Brian, Ednelson, Caesar, Deanna, Richie, good morning. Looking forward to the webinar, as am I. It's going to be an interesting session for us today, I believe. Trading research. I take mostly winning trades, but since doing the combine, I let losers run. I never did this before. Never. Now it's cost me a few combines. Any insight into what's with me? Well, nobody likes taking losses, trading research. I think it's a really good thing that up until this point, you've been able to maintain and get out of losing trades. When I first stepped on the trading floor with my shiny new badge, some of the older guys, they said, "Hey, great, congratulations, hope you do really well. Learn to take a loss," which to me was kind of preposterous. I wasn't there to be taking losses. I was there to be making money, but everybody, I think, is a little bit hardwired the wrong way. Nobody likes to take losses, so we sometimes just fall into avoidance. we'd say, well, I'm just going to wait. Maybe the market will come and make me whole again. And usually that just creates bigger losses. That may be, part of what's kind of leaking back into your trading research. But when you sense that you're doing that, that's an intuition. Listen to those intuitions. It's the impulse. It's the fear that market is going to come back and make you whole again that keeps you in that trade. So don't be a fear-based trader. Be an intuitive trader. The next time you have a trade on and it's a loss, and your gut is telling you, "Oh, just get out of this trade. Just do it. Just do it. Get out." You can always find another opportunity. These markets are opportunity-making machines, and I hope that helps. You can always talk more about that in the group coaching today, or perhaps even on the Top Step Trading Hour at 2:30 Central this afternoon. Again, I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully that's going to help trading research. Tim G. Murph, good morning. Another $1 million day for someone. Yeah, there's definitely $1 million in these markets for somebody today. Absolutely. Tone, good morning. George, Jay Gilmo, Angelina, Ryan Williams, Vince, good morning. Alan O'Neill, Toad Man Extro, Guten Tag. Guten Tag. Mike Maganis, the chef, is here. Trading Research. Greg, kind of starting a conversation with Trading Research. Always good. Vici, good morning. Colin, Greg, Tone, Sunil, Jason, Troy, good morning. Jim Wolf, Vici, Murph. I've learned the more losses I take, the more I learn how to find better entries. I was over 70% win rate, but losing money. Now I'm maybe 50% and a winning trader. That's all in that reward over risk ratio, isn't it, Murph? I mean, if we're going to be right half the time, if our winners aren't bigger than our losses, we're not going anywhere, right? Toad, good. Glad to hear that you like that advice. It does help. You're a righteous dude, man. Thanks. It's so hard. One of the things that KM, good morning. Luck Johnson, good morning to you. And if this is your first trip to the market forecast, welcome. Glad you're here. We're going to get to the charts in a second here. One of the things that plagues me trading research when I'm in a trade and it doesn't look like it's going to go well, and I'm always thinking risk first on any trade. I know where my point of invalidation is going to be, but there's always that nagging thing in the back of my head that says, yeah, but what if? What if you move your stop and it goes your way? Worst thing that can happen is you get paid for that kind of behavior, and then you start to think you're going to be able to get away with it more and more. So, one of those trades that you got past your risk and ended up paying you may be part of the reason why you're kind of a little bit leaning more towards holding on to those. Just another thought. Josiah, good morning. All right, let's jump into the charts here. Let me get the right charts up here. And okay, now we get the daily. And here we go. Let's take a look. All right, so as usual, starting with the daily in crude. Pretty decent day yesterday for our crude traders. We had a pretty good and important confluence level, 67.50, 67.60 weekly kickoff high. We had an opportunity to see the market give us a little bit of momentum above that yesterday. Volume and open increased indicates renewed buying, new business, new longs coming into this market, higher volume. We added 26,000 in open interest yesterday on a breakout type of situation. So that's encouraging to me. The fact that we had higher volume and more open interest came in is what tells me that there's still money out there coming into the long side in crude oil. So the auction appears healthy. This 67.60 weekly kickoff level zone, if you will, seems pivotal. Even if we may not even get a chance to go down there and take a look at it. Continued acceptance I'm going to be watching for more volume, more momentum, and perhaps more buyers coming in to continue this move to the upside. Anything can happen. OPEC, their meeting that they had yesterday, I think they're still talking today. If something weird comes out about that or anything else, anything can change. But just looking at what we're seeing here, it looks like the auction to the upside is healthy and perhaps even getting healthier. So here was our kind of inflection level. We opened well above settlement. If you remember, we had all of these overnight longs for 2 days of overnight longs, getting longer and longer. We pulled back to this important inflection level. Really, we got pretty deep into it. I'm going to call this like a $20 range area of importance. So the market came down there and held, settled above that price. 67.72 is settlement price. So we're holding some overnight longs. We are also inside value from yesterday. That indicates to me that we're probably going to find better trade location as the day goes on. The market has opened, and I can't see right now if the market has left the opening range at the high of the session, but it's probably not necessarily going to be the only good trade location for the day. When we take a look at the volume profile from yesterday, it was a good double distribution day in market profile, but we had a really high volume node up here. We have our point of control down here, which is another high volume node. We've opened between them. There is a tendency for the market to go down and recheck the high volume nodes when the market opens in between in a low volume area. So I'll be really kind of focused on the situation that we have down here near weekly kickoff high, which ended up supportive yesterday. Look at the amount of confluence we have in this zone down here. Now, this is a pretty big zone, but we have settlement, we have point of control from yesterday, we have value low right on 67.60. We have last week's high right in the area. So there's a lot of information down here. This is a pretty target-rich environment, and when I see this, it tells me there's probably a lot of fish in there for us to catch, if we even get the opportunity. So I'm going to let this market kind of play out the first hour. I'm going to watch the extremes. Oh, and we also have our overnight low right in that area. So overnight low, settlement, point of control, value low, weekly kickoff high, and last week's high right in this it's a kind of a $40, a 40 tick range here. I'm gonna maybe less than that. Let's just call it 80 tick. No, 40 tick range. So it's not going to be that cheap. It's going to be challenging, but I think that there's some fish down here one way or another. I'm going to try and stay patient. If we get the opportunity to see the market down here, I think there's some good opportunity here. E-mini S&Ps. All right. So yesterday we had a failure to accept above 42.20 weekly kickoff high, as well as last week's high, very close to that level. Volume and open interest increased yesterday. We had some pretty decent volume yesterday. We added 7,700 in open interest, so still money coming in. It just kind of increasing energy, because when you look at the daily chart here, we really haven't moved in over a week. We've been just kind of hanging around in this range here, and it's made things a little bit more difficult, I think. Yesterday was a pretty decent opportunity off that high. Once it kind of failed to accept and kind of move back to the downside. We'll look at that on the 30-minute chart. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, day 7 in balance, in short time frame control, right in between. We're right in the middle of last week's range. I'm thinking that this is really going to require a lot of patience today to really let the market come to you and say, here's your opportunity. If you go searching, you're going to find it, and it may not be the opportunity that you're looking for. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. So here was our open yesterday. We had overnight longs. Once we got back down below this level, there was some continuation back to the downside. Where are we today? Where are we this morning? Settlement is right here. 41.9850. Put that on your charts. This morning when I sat down, we were right there. I mean, there was really no overnight inventory with which to look at. We are opening in range and probably in value. That's going to say to me, try and stay patient. Better trade locations likely to come as the day goes on. It's almost like the market is in a hurry up and wait type of situation. We're waiting for some important employment information tomorrow and especially on Friday. The folks are kind of hanging around waiting for that to happen. Some may be saying we're falling into summer markets. I don't see that. I think there's still too much energy in these markets, and there's still too many uncertainties out there in the economic and political world for us to be falling into a summer range. I think this is building energy, and I think we're going to see some pretty decent opportunities pretty much through the summer. Anyways, where are we? Well, are we getting a little long? Perhaps not very. I wouldn't think. We're still in range and value. Stay patient today. The moving averages this morning when we were right here, they were all right in the same neighborhood. That usually tells me this is a bit of a mess. It's likely to be choppy, and I'm going to try and stay patient. We've moved our hulls away from the 20 and 50 session exponential moving average here. So a little bit of a break there, kind of pushing our overnight high above value, rejecting, coming back into value. Stay patient. Stay patient today. I know you guys hear me say that a lot and you probably get tired of it, but it's so important and so key, especially when the market is in this kind of situation. I mean, look at the NASDAQ, we had a pretty big range yesterday. We spanned the entire previous week's range yesterday in extended trading hours. Higher volume. We added 1,400 in open interest, so there's still money coming in. There's energy coming into this market. We just don't know what direction it's going to go here just yet. When we fall into balance, we fade the extremes of those balances until there's an acceptance and a move away from it. Then we go with that. We looked above, we looked below last week's range. We didn't find direction in either way. What are we looking at here? We're looking at, a little bit of higher volume, but no real momentum, no movement. Adding open interest increases energy, but there's really no direction in this at this time. Again, are we waiting for unemployment information? Settlement. 13,648.75, 13,648.75. Put that on your charts. Where have we gone last night? We've gone nowhere. Do we have any overnight inventory? We have no overnight inventory. Are we inside the value area from yesterday? We are. Everything about what I'm seeing in this chart this morning is saying, stay patient. Stay patient. Don't try to get involved too early. Let the market set up a range and work that range. Work that range. Our overnight, value low. Our overnight here, not even up to value high. We're very, very calm here right now. Don't wake it up unless you really want to. It may take us to get out and push for something for us to happen in the NASDAQ today. That said, something is bound to change. Whenever I say something like that, something happens and we get a big move. But again, I'm going to have to try and stay patient. I'm going to wait for the initial balance to establish itself before really trying to dig into anything. And that can change. If something happens, we leave the opening range at one extreme or another, and it's small enough that it might be something that we would want to take. We can do that. It's all about managing risk first. Risk first, risk first. Risk first. Right? All right, so here we go with gold. Okay, last week's high tested yesterday. A little bit of a long liquidation off that. We get some pretty good volume off that excursion above last week's high, nowhere near weekly kickoff. We lost 4,500 in open interest. That's what tells me that when we got up there, we had a lot of longs just get out and kind of even up perhaps for the unemployment numbers coming out. We don't know how that's going to happen. We're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of balance in the gold as well. Does it look like the auction is slowing in the longer time frame? It does. We're getting a little bit of a rest here. We had a rest here. We had a rest here. We had a rest here. So this is natural part of the auction process. We've got the auctioneer just kind of pandering up here. Okay, the auction has slowed for now. If we can break out and head towards weekly kickoff high, we may bring in more participants. If the auction has ended, we could see a test back down to weekly kickoff low or last week's low. But I don't see anything that's telling me right now that I need to be in this market. And again, here's why. Settlement right here, 1905 even. Overnight low in range, overnight high in range. We are in range and in value. Very little change in the perception of an ounce in the value of the perception of the value of an ounce of gold. That was really hard to say this morning. Let me try that again. Very little change in the perception of value of an ounce of gold this morning. Just try and stay patient. I'm going to let the initial balance, 720 to 820. I'm going to let that figure itself out, because that's really going to kind of tell us where two-sided trade can occur. Do I want to trade in the middle of two-sided trade? No. I want to trade the extremes of two-sided trade. If we're just going to balance inside of value, you may find a good opportunity to buy the low of value from yesterday, sell the high of value from yesterday, and you may get some rotations. We may not. We've got last week's high right in the neighborhood was resistant for us yesterday. What happens if we get there again today? Resistant there, resistance. The more often we revisit it, the more likely we are to exhaust the sellers up there, if we even get that opportunity. Try and stay patient. Again. Patience. The euro this morning. This is the 30-minute chart. Let's start with the daily. Where are we? We've hardly moved. We haven't really had that much directional activity since back here in middle of May. We've been kind of stuck in this range. It seems indecisive. We did increase volume a little bit here from Monday. Of course we did. Monday was a holiday. We added 12,000 in open interest yesterday. That to me is suspicious. That's a little suspect to me. Excuse me. Either there's a little bit of a mistake in the bulletin, we're going to find out on the final, or there's something else going on here. That increase in open interest should be building energy for a change. We're still short time frame controlled. U.S. dollars back above 90, so that's why it's got us on our heels a little bit to the downside here. But again, still really kind of range bound. Take a look at the 30-minute chart here. Settlement all the way up here, 122.31 and a half ticks. Put that on your charts. We got pretty deep into some overnight shorts here. The market has opened, and even before the open, started to unravel some of those overnight shorts. Again, with the gap, it's a pretty large gap. It's going to be kind of less probable for us to close the gap, which gives us all this space to look for opportunities to look for shorts. Do we look for those now? I'm thinking no. We've got our whole moving averages heading higher in price above them. I'm looking for a bigger move back towards settlement if I think that this market is going to roll over and continue to the downside. This is one of the markets, one of the only markets that really opened out of balance from yesterday's area of value. So there's opportunity here, difficult to kind of put your finger on. So again, while it may be we've seen our best trade location for the day, that doesn't mean there's still not good opportunity here. But again, I'm going to say it. What am I going to say? Patience. Blah. That's what I see when I see this. I just see blah. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? Okay, we're right in the middle of last week's range. We've got plenty of space on either side for weekly kickoff levels. Very narrow balance. Rates have been, largely locked right around that 1.6%. I'm not seeing that there's great opportunity here. A little bit better volume than, of course, Monday. Friday, some pretty decent volume. Yesterday, we did add 3,500 in open interest, but no real direction in the day yesterday. Taking a look at the 30-minute chart. Settlements here. Are we getting a little bit long? Did we have a gap? Nah, no gap. Gap was closed. Still showing it as a supportive level. If rates continue to slip a little bit today, we could see a bigger move to the upside. But again, I'm not seeing anything that sticks out to me like, okay, I'm really going to be looking for this. I found it hard to even kind of put together even one or two hypotheses as to what I think might happen today. Basically, we've just traded to this naked point of control here. We got another one down here. Is this an opportunity for us? It's anybody's guess. When you look at this chart, it's blah. It's the only thing that I can say when I look at this chart. It's like, all right, there's no direction. There's no real push or anything in this market. So, blah. That's the only thing I have to say. It's probably off my radar for the day. All right. Okay. Ed Nelson, it's our pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's everybody's pleasure here. Our real goal here is for so many people to be able to find success in trading, and it is a great honor for me to be here for 10 years now, and to have the opportunity to talk to as many wonderful people and traders and friends and family as I have. So we are your best fans. Believe me. All right. Got a couple of minutes. I'm going to take my deep breath. No recap today. Sorry, we've missed the last couple of days. Should be back for doing those again tomorrow, and then again not on Friday. But I'll be looking forward to seeing you at the group coaching session today. I will be looking forward to seeing you at the roundtable of traders today. And then I'll be back tomorrow morning for the market forecast at 8 o'clock, as usual. Take your deep breath. Stay humble, grateful, and creative and patient today in your trading. Get out there and profit. Love to see some good money made today. It's going to be a tough one, but there is opportunity out there. Trade well, get out there, profit. We'll see you later.